What's up, you guys? It's your girl Ada Igwe, aka i2sabbi. Now, this is a whole new dimension to our content, and it's called Chit Chat with Ada. Hopefully, we'll be coming to your phone screens every Friday. Now, make sure you subscribe to get notifications so you'll be notified when our videos drop. Yeah, welcome once again to Chit Chat with Ada. Today I will be talking about my conception and pregnancy journey. Now, before I start, I actually have realized that people don't really know so much about me. They don't really know much about me, and I think it's time I create a section like this where I get to talk with you guys, get your comments, and we just like have a lot of conversations. So today I'll be talking about my conception and pregnancy journey. Now, number one, I'll start with the after wedding experience. Here in Nigeria, let me not say Nigeria because I've watched some movies. I have seen where a couple gets married and everybody's excited. The next thing you're hearing is, you don't enter. Nigeria will say, you don't enter. You cough, you don't enter. Oh, I'm having malaria. It has entered. Like, that's the pressure from outsiders. I have malaria. Are you, those are the expressions and the things you get from people. Now, from family, some people are not so fortunate that their family members, especially maybe the in-laws, mount a lot of pressure on them to, what's happening, why is she not getting pregnant, why are you not getting pregnant, and stuff like that. But anyway, I'll speak for myself. After my wedding, I actually thought when you just get married, in fact, pregnancy comes easy. But that's not the story. But all the same, not like I had any issue, but my first conception happened 6 months after my wedding. And when it even happened, I didn't even know, because then I had dropped all my guards down. I'm no more thinking about getting pregnant or not getting pregnant. So I was just about living my life. And then I realized that I was pregnant, So that's the first. And when I took in for my first son, Brian, I didn't really experience all those, the vomiting and whatever. I didn't experience that. I wish I did, but I didn't. And then I noticed that I never liked chicken. Yeah, when I was pregnant for Brian, I didn't like chicken. The sight of chicken irritates me. Seeing chicken already, I'm already imagining the poultry. In fact, I'm perceiving poultry, raw poultry, when I'm seeing chicken. So I don't like chicken. I actually did not eat chicken. I think that was a major thing I didn't really like. Yeah, I had some weird food cravings. I know I liked shortbread and Fanta. Yeah, and that was it. But after my 3 months, my first trimester, where I had some threats of abortion, like I had threats of miscarriage, sorry, not that, like I was placed on a strict bed rest. I think that was it. I was placed on bed rest for 3 months, and that was it. So Brian's pregnancy was very energetic for me. I was full of myself. I was going to the market. As long as I've eaten, as long as I have eaten, I'm good to go. I go to market, I cook. I may cook and not eat and start craving something else, but then I was really strong. I was singing in the choir. I was like a big girl. Like, the difference between me and other pregnant women was, how will I put it all? The difference between me and normal people was my stomach, but I was doing every other thing. Now, moving on to my second conception was 11 months after Brian. So Brian was yet to complete 1 year. That's 12 months when I took him for my second, when I had my second pregnancy. Now, that particular pregnancy did not survive. Like 2 months into the pregnancy, my doctor said the baby wasn't developing so well, so we had to flush. That's like, I think this flush, or what they call it, I think I should create another day for that whole experience. It was something else. It was terrifying. It was crazy and very, very painful. So I always imagine when people will say, oh, I had 20 abortions, I'll be like, ah, because even that one, when they had to flush out the baby, as in, I knew what I went through. So that's apart. After that, I took in again for the third time. And yeah, I had a scan. It was a boy. But at 8 months, the baby came out. Like, so I had an emergency CS because they said the baby's heartbeat was dropping or something like that, and they had to bring out the baby. So the baby came out preterm, like 8 months, not yet 9 months or so. And unfortunately, I lost that baby after 2 weeks because he had jaundice and he couldn't survive the whole. It was a lot of process, like a lot of things happened. So that baby died. I was devastated, you know. So that's an experience that I would never wish on my enemy, though, like having a child and losing that child. I think I need to create another topic entirely for how and tell you guys how I coped with grieving and the loss of the baby. That should be another topic, but that was it. So the part that is very funny now is that baby came out through ChitChatWithAda. So I took in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. After that baby died, when I got to the hospital, I was ashamed of myself. My doctor was ashamed on my behalf. Everybody was ashamed of me. In fact, I was depressed. And let me quote my doctor. When I went to the hospital and he said, ah, you're pregnant. No. You go born them. That was what he told me. So I went home with that. How am I going to cope? Because obviously, don't come for me. Or nobody should come for me. Nobody should come for me. So I had to go and process my feelings at home on what to do. But I didn't know that there was something in front of me waiting for me. There was a good news waiting. So 3-4 months into the pregnancy, I noticed that I was extremely big. You know, like when you were even, I was trying to hide the pregnancy, going to church, so people won't even know I'm pregnant yet. But at 3 months, I was like swollen. 4 months, I was having pains, lots of contractions, like almost like a threatened miscarriage again. And then we went to the hospital. I was rushed to the hospital, and the doctor checked and said, hey, ADA, you're having you're having twins. And then I think I would say the joy of, you know, the God factor, you lost one, God is giving you two, you know, that whole testimony kind of line. You know, that was making me happy too. But at the same time, I had something at the back of my mind. Twins, because I have never prayed for twins. Now, I never prayed for twins. When I had Brian, that's another topic. Managing, as in motherhood, toddler, newborns, that's another topic entirely. Now, having Brian made me start thinking, if this one baby gets all this kind of stress, 2, how it go be? So I never ever wished for twins, because actually I just wanted 2 kids, whether boy, girl, whatever. I wanted just 2 kids, you know. So I kept wondering, how am I going to cope? But then it's here, we're going to go through it. So unfortunately for me, and should I say fortunately for me too, because after that experience with the doctor where he told me I was having twins, a few weeks later, I was still having those complications, like threatened miscarriage. So they had to move me into the hospital. So I lived in the hospital from that time till the babies were ready to come out. Like I lived in the hospital till I had those twins. That's another story again for another day. So you see, our series is really getting long. Motherhood is getting long. So I lived in the hospital. Then I would never forget how I had those twins. You know, I was in the hospital. My pastor's wife, Pastor Ibimiye's wife, Sister Grace, shout out to you, because she really came through for me when I had nobody bringing me food. It was another experience entirely. So she brought me a cooler of, I will never forget, spaghetti. She asked me what I wanted that day. I said I wanted spaghetti, I wanted croaker fish and plantain. Before I blinked my eyes, there was already, like, the whole thing was at my hospital bed. So I sent for a big bottle of Pepsi because I wanted to push it down. When a pregnant woman is preparing for the food she wants to eat. So I sent for a drink, put it in the fridge in the hospital. When my doctor just buzzed into the ward and said he wants to check me, normal routine check and all that, just checked me and said, Mrs. Igwe, you're almost giving birth to, you have dilated, you are this, you are 4 cm dilated, we can't allow you to have this baby normally. We have to move you to the theater because of your situation, your womb that has not healed and all that. I'm sorry, at that point, I'm supposed to be thinking about my surgery, Abby. What came to my mind was my spaghetti. They said, hope you've not eaten. I said, no, good, prepare her for the theater. When they were taking me to the theater, I was looking at my cooler, I was like, so this man, my husband will just chop this red-looking, appetizing spaghetti. That was what came to my mind, but that's like the normal pregnant woman longer throat. They took me to the theater, and for my baby that died, they actually sedated me. I slept off, and I didn't like that experience. So I would create another video, another episode where I'm going to talk about what really happened with that child. I will give details and also talk about my experience when while I was being operated on. I'll talk about my experience. I'm going to talk about how the baby died and how I coped with the grief. So that's a different topic. So because of my experience with the other baby that died in the theater, I insisted that I needed the epidural where I would not be sleeping. So I was awake all through the process, and then they brought out the twin 1, twin 2, Joshua and Japhet crying, they came out. So that's my that's how I had the twins. Now, while I was at the hospital, I remember I had serious gastric reflux. I had extreme pelvic pain. I think it's from the weight of the babies sitting on my pelvis. I had severe pelvic pain. There was a time I fell. I think there was a day I was sitting on a chair they provided for me, and the chair broke. I don't know what happened. I think the devil was just like after me then. I fell down with my stomach and fell into a kind of labor. The doctors were running around trying to salvage the situation because the babies were not even yet 36 weeks. Because twins come out at 36 weeks because they are usually, it's a different situation. So I think we were at 20-something weeks when I fell, and then there was a time I had low blood pressure issues. I think it's happened a couple of times, and then I was always on pentuzazine, bromethazole to help me with the pain. And I'm really surprised that I wasn't even addicted to that because I lived on pentuzazine and bromethazole on my laps. At a point when they even discharged me, it was like my laps were not even functioning. Like if I squat, I can't stand up because of the pain. I took a lot of injections on my lap, living alone in the hospital. At a time, my son was brought to me to stay with me in the hospital. He was preparing from the hospital room. It was a comfortable ward, actually. Big size bed and all that. It wasn't the regular kind of ward, but even at that hospital is hospital. There were times that they brought Brian was living with me in the hospital, preparing there from school. It was really crazy, and I didn't really have that support system of family. You know how life has turned out. Everybody is for himself. Brian's pregnancy, my due date was September 18th, September 20-something, and I kept praying that I'm going to have this baby before my EDD. I don't want to stay with like those women that will carry their pregnancy around for another 2 weeks, So I want to tell you guys how I gave birth to Brian, the little story behind it. So Brian, when I was a week, my EDD was like a week before my husband traveled to Lagos. Now, when he was traveling, I told him, I have a feeling I'll give birth this week, And he was like, your EDD is not even here. I said, why are you talking? I said, don't travel, I have a feeling. Anyway, you know how they travel. He traveled. But before he left, he requested that my younger sister come over to Port Harcourt, come over to stay with me so I won't be alone and all that. So that's my first baby, first everything. So I remember the evening before I gave birth. That evening, we have done everything we need to do. I had like 2 Malta Guinness or Amstel malt in the fridge, and I was targeting it. I took one that day. The next one, I was like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to make noodles, put this in the noodles, do this, and take it. Pregnancy is crazy. The way you plan for food there, it's more than being a foodie. So my sister, we went to bed. She went to her room. I went to my room. So around 2 a.m., I felt like pain. No, that was my first pregnancy, so I really did not understand what was happening. Just little pain, discomfort, and all that. And I had to call her line. She came into my room. I told her, please come and stay with me in my room. I need to. Is there any problem? Okay. I don't understand what's happening to me. That one not even care herself. She just entered the room, balanced on the bed, she has started sleeping. So at 6 a.m., I woke her up again and told her that I'm not okay. I have a lot of pain. She was like, okay, I should just try to sleep. Maybe it's the baby and all that. So at 6:37, she had gotten up to start doing house chores like tidy, sweep, clean, mop. And I called her and told her that I've seen show. The no show is what they call, it's like a bloody secretion you get when the baby is about to come, but my water didn't break, you know. And I told her when she saw it was bloody, so we panicked. Me, I was panicking, she was panicking. She don't get experience. Me, I don't have experience. Have you seen that kind of thing before? Somebody without experience is coming to take care of somebody without experience. So she ran to one of my neighbors, knocked, and was like, see what's happening, I'm having pain. She now said I was bleeding. So the pain was not that serious, so I won't lie. So my neighbor came in, I was like, what's the problem? What's the problem? Immediately she was like, oh, let's go to the hospital. So because I didn't know I was in labor, I didn't even go with my bag. As I reached hospital, they told me to lie down or go to the labor ward. I was like, why are they telling me to go to the labor ward? I checked. Madam, you are 4 cm dilated. You are in labor, you for born for house. My sister ran home, went to bring my bag. My husband missed his flight, so he was not there to collect slap. He missed his flight. So I went in around 10 a.m. The doctor came in, the same gynecologist, my doctor came and said, oh, you're doing so well. I don't want to waste your time here. But this guy induced me. I don't know what they put in the drip. I saw, if I went to hell, came back, went again, came back and started licking tom-tom. I licked tom-tom. Invisible tom-tom. Tire. At the end, but I cooperated. I was not that kind of pregnant woman that was shouting and scattering things. I was just lying down, based on what I've been now. It's done. I was just calm, just crying. It's paining me. And it was a private hospital. There was one nurse assigned to just rub my back. Yes. So around 2, I dilated properly. They moved me into the delivery ward. I had my baby. I pushed just twice. Hebrew woman. Anyway, I pushed twice, and Brian came out. Yeah. Anyway, should I talk about the healing? No, it's going to be another topic. So our series is going to have this motherhood is going to have almost 12 episodes. The way I'm seeing it and different segments. I'll talk about the delivery itself, healing, and then motherhood, coping with a newborn and all that. That should be under another topic. So, all right, guys. So I want to hear from you guys. You're a mother or you have a sister who has given birth. You have a sister who has had a child in front of you. Tell us your experience with her. Did she slap you when she was in labor? Let me hear your experience with your in-laws. How long did it take you to conceive? And I pray for every mother out there expectant, every woman out there that wants to have her own child. And I pray that it will come to pass for you. Amen. So I want to hear from you guys. Tell me what your waiting period was like for conception. Just tell us everything. Tell us about your kids, how many kids you have, which one stressed you the most, which pregnancy. We just want to know everything. Make sure you drop a comment. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Make sure you share this video. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. I can't wait to see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Thank you.